Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to another interesting session of Muskaan, an initiative of Prabha Khaitan Foundation and Education for All Trust, presented by Shree Cement Limited. Prabha Khaitan Foundation is an organization based in Kolkata, founded by late Dr. Prabha Khaitan, dedicated to socio-cultural welfare and humanitarian causes. The foundation's initiative, Muskaan, aims at popularizing heritage literature and culture nationwide among children and young adults by weaving it into formal and informal education through various student activities. Some of the ways adopted to do this are cultural programs, storytelling sessions, theater, dance, music, and art, which are organized via collaborations with our national and international associations and institutes, both pan-India and overseas network of schools, educational and art institutions. Today's session is really special, for it's celebrating International Red Panda Day. International Red Panda Day is celebrated every year on the third Saturday of September. This year, the day was on 17 September. International Red Panda Day is commemorated to raise awareness about the red panda conservation issues. Today's session is in association with WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature. WWF India is committed to creating and demonstrating practical solutions that help conserve India's ecosystems and rich biodiversity. Marking 50 years of conservation journey in the country, WWF India works towards finding science-based and sustainable solutions to address challenges at the interface of development and conservation. Today, we have a special movie screening followed by an interactive session with Neha Raghav, Associate Director, Education, WWF India. So welcome, Neha, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Sumitra, and I'm so happy to be here to be talking to children, and it's such a wonderful opportunity. We missed Red Panda Day last week, but never mind, it's never too late to talk about such a beautiful species. So we will be, learning a little bit more about red pandas. I'm sure some of you would know what red panda looks like, but there is much more to this amazing, fantastic, elusive species. So, but before I, start with the presentation and talk a little bit more about the species, I would just like to share with you a little bit about WWF India. So just give me a moment to share my screen. Yes, Sumitra ma'am mentioned, we celebrated International Red Panda Day this year on September 17th, which was last Saturday. So this session is called On the Roll with Red Panda, and what a lovely creature. It, motivates all of us to, sort of get on the roll, and little bit about another species which is very close to red panda, and it shares a similar habitat and a lot of other similarities along with all the other differences it has. The giant panda, which also happens to be WWF India's logo. So a little story behind this, so WWF was founded in the year 1961 in Glos, Switzerland. I'm talking about the international, WWF is an international organization. We started out in India in the year 1969. Okay, so we have celebrated 50 years in the year 2019. And 50 years of conservation efforts throughout the country. And as you can see, this particular logo was inspired by giant panda, who was endangered at the time when giant panda was chosen to be the logo of the organization for multiple reasons. One, of course, it was a symbol of the work that the Worldwide Fund for Nature aspired to do at that point of time. And apart from that, the black and white color actually of the animal helped us save ink, because, the logos go up on all the official documents, and a logo, black and white in color, helped us save a lot of ink. So it kind of perfectly was a perfect representation of the logo. Now, this particular panda, which inspired, the founding fathers of WWF to choose the animal as the logo, had a very lovely name. Can anyone guess? I would request Kathy to, see if there are any answers in the chat box. Can anyone guess the name of this panda which inspired WWF to choose this animal as its logo? Any answers in the chat box? So those who are raising their hands, I could request Kathy to allow them to share the answers. That's not the name, that's the name of the animal. Okay, let me tell you. It was called Chi-Chi. All right, and Chi-Chi means a lovely girl, okay? And this was actually a female that was taken to the London Zoo, where the founding fathers happened to see this beautiful animal. Fortunately, in 2016, IUCN declared the giant panda as not endangered, right? So all the efforts of the organizations across the world, it sort of came to fruition, and the giant panda is no more endangered. All right, so let me tell you a little bit more about our work. So WWF initially was called World Wildlife Fund for Nature, for the reason that our work was entirely focused on conservation of the crucial biodiversity across the world. But over a period of time, we realized that the reason why the biodiversity was diminishing, the species were going extinct at a very fast rate, was because their habitat was being degraded. They were losing their homes. And the reason why they were losing their homes was humanity's footprint. All right. We had started to consume more and more from the forests, from jungles, from their habitat, to an extent that, their homes were continued to shrink. As a result, the biodiversity was diminishing. So, and that was the reason in year 1986, we decided to diversify our work, and we began to call ourselves Worldwide Fund for Nature rather than World Wildlife Fund for Nature. And our mission was to stop the degradation of planet's natural environment and build a future in which humans live in harmony with nature. All right. So as you can see, these are the three broad areas of our work. We don't just work in wildlife and habitat. We also work on, there are divisions that work on conservation of rivers, wetlands. We have sustainable businesses. We have sustainable agriculture as, different areas of work. We also work on policy and advocacy. So we follow a multi-pronged approach to conserve nature. There's a little video which I, show, because it sort of sums up our work very beautifully. So here it is. Just allow me to share my video again so that you can hear the audio as well. Just one moment. it's every time I watch this video, I get really inspired. And when I talk to children like you, I hope that some of you will grow up to, pursue careers in environment and, may grow up to become my colleagues one day. Okay, so I would moving further, talking a little bit more about the species that we are here to talk about. Red panda happens to be one of the priority species that WWF India works on. So it is not possible to, work for the conservation of each and every species. However, WWF, identifies the species which are of critical significance, are very important for the landscape that it inhabits, and also from the conservation point of view, and really needs attention. So we identify some of the species that really needs work, and the red panda is one of them. And you will get to know some very interesting facts about this very cute animal. So I hope you all listen to what I am going to say for next 5 minutes, because there is going to be a quiz at the end, and we will see how much how carefully you've listened to this talk, so you are able to get all the answers in the quiz right. Okay, so a little bit about this animal. It's called red panda, and the scientific name of this animal is Ailurus fulgens. So it's very interesting. Ailurus also means fire cat. Okay, so this particular animal is called fire cat, as the name suggests. It's also known as red panda. Let me tell you that it is a small mammal which is native to the eastern Himalayas and southern western China. It has, as you can see on the screen, that it has a dense reddish brown colored fur, and the belly, as you can see, is black. The legs are also black, and it has white lined ears and a mostly white muzzle. The muzzle is the nose part of it, and you can also see that it has a tear-like a patch coming down from its eye, and it goes on till the throat. All right, and and you can see that it has a very lovely bushy tail which is ringed. Okay, it has some black patterns, ring-like patterns on it. All right, and almost 50% of the red panda's habitat is in the eastern Himalayas. All right, I'll show you a map just now, and you will be able to sort of visually see where this lovely animal lives. The red panda is actually slightly larger than a domestic cat, okay, and with a bear-like body. It does look like, imagine a cat, an animal a little bigger than a cat and looking like a bear, okay, and the thick rust-colored fur. The belly and limbs, like I told you, are black, and there are white markings on the side of the head and above its small eyes. So these are some really interesting features about the animal. It's an arboreal animal. Okay, it's a mammal. What is a mammal? Does anyone know what a mammal is? A mammal is an animal which bears individuals. Okay, it does not lay eggs. Okay, and it suckles its young ones. It takes care of its babies. All right. So a red panda is, okay, sorry, this I missed. The International Red Panda Day. I've already mentioned this earlier. So moving further, as you can see over here, that it stretches across the eastern Himalayan landscape, and it dwells in the forests of India. You can see Nepal, Bhutan, and the northern mountains of Myanmar and southern China. All right. It thrives best at the altitude of 2,200 to 4,800 meters in a mixed deciduous and conifer forest, because it's at a higher altitude, and you generally find tall trees which bear cones and have spine-like needles. Okay, so this is generally the kind of forest that they are found in. And another very important feature is that these forests should have understories of bamboo. All right, because red pandas, they eat bamboos. So they definitely will like to, would prefer a habitat where there is ample amount of bamboo available. All right. Although ideally 2200 to 4800 meters of altitude is where the panda lives, but there have been sightings at altitudes as low as 1800 meter. When I say 1800 meter, it means above sea level. In India, this elusive species is found in Sikkim. As you can see, the map very clearly indicates that it is found in Sikkim and as far as Arunachal Pradesh, Darjeeling, Kalimpong districts of West Bengal. And you will be very, you will find it very interesting to know that even though most individuals are found in Arunachal Pradesh, red panda is actually the state animal of, can you guess which state? Sikkim. Okay, so it's the state animal of Sikkim. Red pandas are very skillful and acrobatic animals, and they primarily stay on the trees. Like I mentioned, they're arboreal, and that's what arboreal means. They spend most of the time on trees. All right, they use their long bushy tails for balance, and they also use their tails to cover themselves because the tail has a lot of fur. If they wrap the tail around their body, it keeps them warm during the winter season. All right. So it's primarily a herbivore, and I'm sure you will all know what a herbivore is. It eats grasses and it's a vegetarian, and it primarily eats bamboo. All right. And that is the reason why red pandas are called panda. All right. And that's where, the giant panda is also called a panda, because even the, a giant panda prefers to eat bamboo. All right. So, even very interesting, how they get the name. The panda actually comes from the Nepali word ponya, which means bamboo or plant eating animals. All right. So some of the very interesting facts that you may like to know about pandas is that they have semi-retractable claws, which help them move easily from branch to branch. And their long bushy tails also help them balance as they cross tree branches. And that is another common thing between a giant panda and a red panda. All right. But what you see at the bottom of this slide is that, is basically, it tells the status of red panda currently. So IUCN is an organization that maintains a list of different species and their status. And as you can see, that the extinction risk to red pandas is at the level of endangered. So this particular species is critically endangered under Schedule 1 of the Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The red panda has the highest legal protection. All right. And because of multiple reasons, I'm going to be talking a little more about the threats in the next slide. But unfortunately, because of the threats it faces, we have very few individuals left in the wild. So as less as 10,000 individuals, this is the global population of red pandas. All right. So, and what are the various reasons for this? I will actually put all the three major reasons over here in front of you, but then I'm going to be explaining each one of them. Number one is, as you all know, that red pandas spend a lot of time staying on the trees. They create small nests over the trees, and the loss of trees on which they make the nests is, and also, because bamboo in their habitat is constantly decreasing, that is one very big reason of decline in red panda populations across much of its range. All right, because their forest home is being cleared. All right, and we will go further into the reasons why their home is being cleared. So red pandas are often killed. Apart from all these reasons, they also get killed when they get caught in traps which are meant for other animals. So usually the settlements around the red panda habitat, there are communities which are dependent on the forest for their livelihood and a whole lot of other needs. So they generally set up traps for other animals. Even though red panda is not the target species, yet they end up trapping them. So, and then they are also poached for their distinctive fur in China and Myanmar. All right. So, red panda fur caps or hats have been found for sale in Bhutan. All right. So, that is the most unfortunate thing. Rapid human population growth in the eastern Himalaya is basically causing deforestation and clearing of the habitat of red panda. The global panda population, red panda population, has declined by 50% in last 2 decades. Merely in 20 years, we have lost 50% of the red panda population, and habitat loss is number one threat. All right. So the problem is that in a lot of countries the red panda habitat lies outside of the protected areas, even though there are a lot of designated protected areas by the government. However, because a large part of their habitat is outside the protected areas, they and also that leads to fragmentation of their habitat. In Nepal, 70% of the red panda habitat lies outside of the protected areas, and which is why their habitat is fragmented into 400 small patches. And if you learn further about red panda behavior, you will realize that they are solitary. They are territorial animals. They mark their territory, and there is something very interesting way in which they mark their territories. They under their tail they have a little gland called stink gland. All right. And they produce a wax which gives out a very bad smell, which keeps other animals and predators away. Because it's a small animal, it needs to keep the predators away. But what is very interesting is, for us human beings, that we cannot identify that odor. It is odorless. But however, other animals can actually recognize the smell, and it is so repulsive to them that they go far away from the animal. All right. So the reasons why the habitat is being fragmented is the development project. So a lot of, we need electricity here in our homes, so there are hydro projects, hydroelectric power plants which are set up in the habitat, for which their habitat is cleared. We need roads, so the roads are, they basically cut through the protected areas and the habitat of red pandas. Apart from that, there are frequent forest fires that happen, and they are all anthropogenic. When I say anthropogenic, it means fires which are started by human beings because of human carelessness or on purpose. Okay, so there are multiple reasons because of which the red panda habitat is being fragmented and is continuously degrading. The second very big issue is predation by feral dogs. There are free-ranging dogs in the vicinity of the red panda habitat, and this is leading to predation on red pandas. And occasional hunting of red pandas is also a concern in some of the areas. All right. Apart from that, livestock herding is a problem. Sometimes there is an epidemic that hits, and because of which a large population of red panda is wiped off a particular region. All right. Now, there are a couple of other reasons also why red panda is endangered. Number one is the bamboo life cycle. So red panda diet is 98% bamboo. It eats eggs, so it is called non-vegetarian. However, its diet is primarily herbivore. So the life cycle of these plants is mass flowering followed by die-off. Bamboo does not easily re-establish in disturbed areas. Okay, so bamboo will grow really fast in an area which is undisturbed and does not have any human interference. But in areas where there is disturbance, it doesn't grow very fast. Okay, so red pandas become vulnerable to other threats when crossing unsuitable habitat in search of it. Okay, when they move from their territory to other places to look for bamboo, they get then that habitat becomes unsuitable for them. Apart from that, red panda doesn't eat every part of the bamboo like the giant panda does. Red panda eats only the tender shoots and the soft leaves of a bamboo rather than the whole plant. So it has to really sort of look for, bamboo, good quality bamboo to feed itself. The other thing is, of course, the world climate change. It's causing frequent droughts, snowfalls, and floods. They're all resulting in shifting of the vegetation zones in the Himalayas, which is why the habitat of red panda is very badly impacted. All right, so but then there are a lot of efforts that WWF India and Red Panda Network and whole lot of other organizations are doing to protect this particular animal. And why do we need to protect? It's very important for us to understand. We are all attempting to protect these animals. Why should we protect it? One, it is a very unique animal. Okay, they are the only living member of their own taxonomic family. So you can imagine if a red panda goes extinct, it will be a huge loss, okay, because there will be no other species of its family left. So we really need to, and it is already endangered, all right. We have lost half of the wild red pandas in past 2 decades. They play a very important role in the conservation of Himalayan broadleaf forest. They are also the bioindicators. So if red pandas move away from a particular habitat, it is an indication that that particular ecosystem is degrading. All right. And that also sort of, further signifies that it's a very important species. It's a flagship species of a biodiversity hotspots. And they are ambassadors for a landscape that supports over 500 million people. All right. So you can imagine how important this particular animal. Now, what is WWF doing? Of course, there are a whole lot of organizations that depends on the kind of issues in different regions that the animal is facing. Accordingly, the solutions are implemented. So WWF India has been working since 2005 in the Eastern Himalayan region to conserve red pandas. And, our goal has been to stop the degradation of the red panda habitat, facilitate the recovery of the degraded habitat, and enable community stewardship. So, we sitting in Delhi or sitting in cities, may not be able to contribute so much towards the conservation of red pandas. But the communities which share their homes with red pandas can actually, contribute a lot. So we work with the communities and build stewardship amongst them to conserve red panda and its habitat. So it's very important. We do a lot of community awareness workshops. So approximately 38% of the total potential red panda habitat is in Nepal, right? So in Nepal also, so WWF India and Nepal, WWF Nepal together work on conservation of number of species, rhino being one of them, one-horned rhino being one of them, and red panda is the other one. All right, so there are community groups that are trained and they are sensitized and they sort of participate in reducing the human impact on the red pandas already fragile habitat. And you will all know that all the, mountainous habitat, hilly regions have a very delicate ecosystem, all right, and it is hugely being impacted because of the climate change, because of change in temperature. The patterns of the vegetation which grow in these regions are immensely affected. All right, so a lot of times, these communities that depend on forest for fuel, firewood, and all, what they do is they just go into the forest, indiscriminately cut down the trees and use it as fuel wood. Now, what we have been sensitizing the people to do is use yak dung brisket. Okay, so these yak dung, you must have heard about cow dung cakes. Okay, so these communities they have yak, they rear yak, so they use make yak dung briquettes, and then they provide this to the communities to use this as an alternative way to not just generate income, but also use it as firewood to prevent further cutting down of the red panda habitat. All right, so apart from that, communities, particularly in regions like Darjeeling, Sikkim, they depend a lot on tourism. So tourism is being promoted, to give alternate livelihood to these communities so that their dependence on the forest is further reduced. All right, so a lot of such efforts are being, being made to protect the red panda habitat and also red panda. Apart from that, it's very important to build awareness and educate the people. Many a times people do not know how their actions are impacting a particular species, which is so important, right? So of course, WWF India works a lot on education awareness of communities and people, whether they live in and around the red panda habitat or live far away, because everything is connected, right? Anything that we are doing sitting here in Delhi may have an impact on red panda in the Eastern Himalayan landscape, right? So we continue engagement with communities and other stakeholders on education and awareness regarding the animal, and also an important focus for WWF India has been education and awareness. In Sikkim, a volunteer group of red panda guardians are also being developed to take this forward, who shall also be engaged in field surveys. A key part of WWF India's work is to monitor red panda habitats and, raise awareness about it. So a couple of steps that can be taken to mitigate threats to red panda populations are: number one, like I mentioned, working with local communities, reduce forest dependence, and involve communities in conservation measures, right? So WWF India provides improved cooked stoves to reduce firewood consumption. So these are different ways in which we work with communities, particularly living in the forest fringe areas. All right. One important thing that WWF India has also done is they have collaborated with the Sikkim Anti-Rabies and Animal Health and launched a program to sterilize free-ranging dogs to control growing population around critical wildlife areas. All right, so this is a little bit about how WWF India is working towards conserving these animals. And following this, I'm going to play this movie called Pochki for all of you. I would request you all to watch this movie very carefully, because it is going to do a quick recap of what I have shared with you until now, and may also give you some additional information. All right, so here is the movie. Sorry, just one moment. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Pukchi, the red panda. I am the state animal of Sikkim, and welcome to my homeland. Sikkim is part of the Eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot and makes for only about 0.2% of India. Its area stretches from the low-lying river valleys of the Tista and Rangit to the high snowy mountains of the Himalayas. Amongst these snow-capped mountains stands our guardian deity, Mount Kanchenjunga. It is the third highest peak in the world and the highest in India. Members of my family are spread across the hills, in the forests of Darjeeling and Arunachal Pradesh, as well as in the high forests of our neighboring countries, Nepal and Bhutan. I have heard that some cousins of mine are also found in southern China and northern Myanmar. My home is blessed with the fascinating richness of flora and fauna. Almost half the number of birds that are recorded in India can be found in Sikkim. Yes, that's right! 1,300 species of birds are recorded in India, of which almost 570 species can be found in Sikkim. we also enjoy the company of 689 different species of butterflies, from a total of about 1,500 species found in India. This region is also home to some of the most exquisite vegetation. Plants as small as the rhododendron pumilium, and trees that stand as tall as the hemlock. Stretching from the low river valleys up to the middle hills lies Sikkim's subtropical belt. This habitat has thick and dense forests that nurture immense treasures of biodiversity. Living in the lower forests of this belt are some of my feathered friends, such as the very colorful Indian peafowl, the great hornbill with its big yellow beak, and the ancestor of the domestic chicken, the red jungle fowl. Sikkim's only bird sanctuary, the Kitam Bird Sanctuary, is located in this belt. This habitat also supports other larger animals, such as the golden jackal, who is also known as Sial in Nepali, howling away into the night. The wild boar and the barking deer also roam these forests. Here you can spot the rock python that is known for its massive size and unmatched feeding habits. I've heard that it can eat animals as big as a deer. Higher up in altitude is the temperate belt of Sikkim, and this is where I live. Temperate forests are simpler in structure and support a smaller number of tree species. Towering conifers mixed with magnificent oaks shape this beautiful forest, and my family and I build our nests in these oaks. Rhododendrons are the main flowering plants found in these forests. Some grow as shrubs, while others are tall trees. And during their flowering season, the forests look enchanting, with shades of pink, red, and white. We have 36 species of rhododendrons in our forests. Ayaw! These high-altitude areas are also rich in medicinal plants, such as these. Oh look! A blood pheasant! This beautiful bird is the state bird of Sikkim. The musk deer, who is famous for his musk that makes your perfume, lives amongst us. The Asiatic black bear, who has become quite unpopular due to his habit of raiding farmers' fields, is also found in these forests. Uh-oh! Here comes the leopard! Let me run before she spots me. Besides, we might just run into some other members of her feline family. Climbing higher up, we reach the alpine habitat. Up here, it's windy, cold, dry, and the sunlight at these high altitudes is very strong. There are no trees in these areas, only shrubs and bushes. This is a very tough place for plants and animals to live. Plants here grow short and strong to survive in this harsh area. Dwarf rhododendrons, mosses, and lichens cover the lower shrublands, along with other pretty wildflowers. Standing up to 4 feet in height, the kenjo, or the giant rhubarb, is one of the most fascinating plants of this area. We also have many beautiful lakes. My tiny buddy, the Sikkim snow toad, is the only amphibian species found at these heights in Sikkim. Ruddy shell ducks. Ooh. And black-necked cranes. Usually found in pairs, are the most exquisite ones. Buddhists believe that sighting of these cranes bring prosperity. High up in the alpine meadows also grows the yatsa gumbo, or the caterpillar fungus. This half caterpillar, half plant is believed to have high medicinal values. Above the shrublands and meadows are the rocky cliffs and the cold desert plateau where the elusive snow leopards roam. They have thick fur to protect them from the cold and massive paws to help them grip the rocky terrain. It shares its habitat with Tibetan argali, Tibetan wild ass, and blue sheep. Smaller mammals such as marmots and pikas can be found living in nooks and crannies and in burrows on the ground. Also found amongst this wildlife is the lone Tibetan sand fox. So we have traveled within the small but beautiful Sikkim landscape and met some of the wonderful creatures that live here. Sadly, with increasing human population and developmental needs, our habitats are slowly being degraded and lost. There are forest areas that are set aside for our conservation, which are known as protected areas. Currently, Sikkim has 8 protected areas that cover approximately 31% of the state's area, with the Kanchenjunga National Park spread across North and West District as the largest. Sikkim needs many eco-warriors to help conserve its natural heritage. Eco-warriors who are aware and interested to look after the state's biodiversity and help in their conservation. You can be an eco-warrior too. Just follow these simple steps. Do not kill birds or hunt animals. Do not feed them, especially monkeys on the roadside. Do not throw trash out of the vehicles. It will litter our homes. Be aware of Sikkim's natural heritage. So till next time, keep learning, keep sharing. Bye-bye.
Just give me a moment. I'm going back to the presentation. So just one moment. It is quiz time. Just one moment. So I hope you all enjoyed watching the movie and our Little Red Panda Pochki, as it took you all across the state of Sikkim, which it is the state animal of, and learned about various species that it coexists with in the land in the state. and whole lot of other information. I'm going to share the link with you where you can go find, the movie Puchki in case you all want to watch again. I'm sure you will all want to watch it again. So I'll let you know where you can go and, get watch the movie again, and also a couple of other information about Red Panda. So are you all ready for the quiz? I want to see a show of hands. Are you all ready? Okay, so now one simple rule. You are going to write the answers in the chat box, okay? And I'll try and pick the first correct answer, because some of the questions might be easy, but I'm going to try and find the first correct answer. All right. So here you go. The first question: where do red pandas live? Your options are here on the screen. You can just mention the letter A, B, C, or D, whatever is the correct answer, in the chat box. So I am waiting for the answers to come. Western Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Okay. I am the first correct answer. I think so. Most of you got it right. But I'm trying to get the first correct answer. The first correct answer is Vedant Sharma. Eastern Himalayas is the correct answer. All right, so you can see it on your screen. Moving on to the next question. Okay, sorry. Yeah. When were the red pandas first discovered? I have this question which is out of the syllabus, but I have some interesting facts to share with you with this question. So, yeah, I would like to know the correct answer. Yeah. Okay, so Manan Grover and Ainesh has picked the correct answer 50 years before the giant pandas. So it's very interesting to know that in 1825, someone had discovered red panda, and it was classified by the French zoologist Frederic Cuvier, who classified and also sort of got to know that it belonged to a particular. I'm not going to give that answer away because that may come in the next question. All right, so ready for the next question? All right. So in 1825, red pandas were first discovered and classified, and 50 years later, the giant pandas were discovered. All right, what is the similarity between red panda? There are a lot of similarities between red panda and giant panda. A false thumb, bamboo eaters, both are pandas. They are both bears. Okay, this was a trick question. And the similarities between the red panda and the giant panda are, they both have a false thumb, they both are bamboo eaters, and they are both pandas. But red pandas are not bears. So the trick is A, B, and C are all correct answers, right? This is the similarity, and the difference is that they are a giant panda is a bear, however, a red panda is not. Okay. Okay. Now the red pandas belong to the family of giant panda. Another trick question: giant panda, cat, raccoon, or squirrel? All right, I am not able to find the first correct answer over here because the answers are moving really fast. So I'll give you the correct answer and you can check for it yourself. The correct answer is raccoon. So you can tell yourself. So it is, even though it is just slightly bigger than a cat, and despite the fact that it has so many similarities with a giant panda, it belongs to a completely different family of animals. All right. So red pandas belong to the same family as raccoon. Now, the lifestyle the red pandas prefer, they like to be solitary and nocturnal. Do they like to be in group of 5 to 6 individuals? Are they active during the day, or do they like to roam across the forest floor? Okay, I'll try and catch the answers here. Lot of mixed answers. Let's find out what the correct answer is. They are solitary and nocturnal. I mentioned to you that they are solitary and they are territorial. Most of the territorial animals like to be solitary. Okay, so they, of course, you would, during the day, you would find them lazing along the trees, as you can see in the picture here. Okay, and at night they look for food. All right. So moving further, which of the following statements is not true? It's a simple question. If you had, listen to me carefully. Balance. The red pandas use their tails for balance as they cross tree branches, wrap it around themselves for warmth, or to find food. Okay, I think so. The most common answer here is C with a few B's. Remember, read the question very carefully. Which of the following statements is not true? Do red pandas use their tails to find food or to wrap it around themselves for warmth? Which is not right. Okay, let's see what the correct answer is. They do not use their tails to find food. They actually use it for balance and to keep warm. All right, so to find their food is not the correct answer. Okay, now the next question, what is the average size and weight of a red panda? Now you know that it is much, much smaller than a giant panda, and you also know that it's a little bigger than a cat. Let's just guess the weight and the size of the animal. Okay, so lot of C, B, D. Okay, let's see what the correct answer is. Okay, so it's close to 5 kgs. It ranges between 4 to 5 kgs, and the length of the body varies between 40 to 50 centimeter. Okay, and the first option, 80 to 150 kgs and body length up to 180 centimeters, is actually that of a giant panda. All right. So, yep. Moving on. I think so. This will be the last question. Red panda is the state animal of which Indian state? Okay, I don't think so. This anybody should get wrong. Okay, D. Yes, indeed, D is the correct answer. It is the state animal of Sikkim, and that is the reason why Puchki took you all across Sikkim, talked about various animals it coexists with. It talks about flowers, butterflies, and different kinds of trees which are found in the state. Yes, okay. So here we come to the end of the quiz, and a huge round of applause to all of you who participated with full enthusiasm. And even though I was not able to call out the names, you still did write the answers in the chat box. Thank you so much. Yeah. Next, how you can help? It's very important question. Okay, why are we even learning about red pandas? Why is it important? How can I help? It's there far off in the jungle. Now, like I told you that we are connected with nature and nature is connected with us. Okay, if anything in nature degrades, goes bad, spoils, our lives will be impacted in some way or the other. So it becomes our utmost responsibility to do something about it. Okay, so what can we do? The first thing we can do is we can be aware and spread awareness. Okay, how can we be more aware? Read more about red pandas or read about the animals which are found around us. Tell people how they contribute to the environment, how they make the environment better, and then this is one thing that you can do. The second is choose to live the nature's way. Okay, it's very important. Like I told you that, a lot of our needs are fulfilled by the forest in which these animals live. So the more we, draw from these forests, the more we increase our demands, the more we live in an unsustainable way, indirectly or directly, it is going to eventually impact the habitat of these animals. Okay, and the third thing that we can do is, of course, I'm not sure if it is available, but if you ever happen to visit any of these countries and you see the panda fur products being sold, say no. Have the courage to walk up to people, and tell them, do not kill our red pandas. They are so precious. They are protected. They have got the highest legal protection by the country's constitution. So you should know that, so you can speak up. All right. If you are aware of the laws that protect the red pandas, you will definitely be able to tell this to people. All right. Now, where can you find the movie? So WWF India has a digital resource center called One Planet Academy. I have mentioned the URL over here on the screen, and it's very simple. It's just called academy.wwfindia.org. You can go to this website, look for stories around various environmental themes. There are puchkis there, and there's another very interesting video on red pandas if you further want to learn about red pandas. There are some really interesting comics. There, you can go and listen to podcasts. There are some very interesting videos. You just saw one. There is, we send out newsletters for children, on fortnightly basis. You can actually go and, subscribe to those newsletters so that you keep getting regular updates. You can go play games on, conservation and sustainability. There are some biodiversity map. You can go look for your favorite animals and see how you can contribute towards their conservation. You can also take a 360-degree experience of a forest ecosystem. So you can just go there, click on it, and just explore the forest and learn tons of things about forest, different animals, species. You will be able to play games. There is a night walk game in it. There is a food chain game in it. So there is tons and tons of things to explore, learn, and become a nature wizard. All right, so that's about it from me. And you can ask your questions, you can be informed, and you can inspire others. All right, so I will stop sharing my screen. And here I am. So if there are any questions, in case I'm not able to answer any of the questions, because Red Panda, I do not work on the field and there could be questions that only field people will know, but I'll try my best to answer those questions. So Kathy, I would really request you to identify children who have raised their hand and ask their questions. Oh, how beautiful. Someone has seen Red Panda live. So how amazing. Why should we not feed animals? Because if we feed animals, they will lose their ability to feed themselves. So the day you don't give them food, what will happen to them? Yeah. So you should not feed the animals. You should let the animals have the ability to fend for themselves, find food for themselves. Yes. Why are red pandas endangered? I have said multiple things about it. Number one, their habitat is being degraded because of development, because of a lot of electricity power plants that come up in their habitat, and their habitat gets fragmented. So obviously, if we do not have the home, we will be always at risk of predation. We will be at risk of, not being able to find food. I just said why we cannot, I just answered the question why we cannot feed them. The traps are not meant to kill them. The traps are actually meant to catch them so that their fur can be taken. So a lot of poaching and hunting happens. How long do red pandas live? Their lifespan is 12 to 15 years. How can yak dung, if you have heard of cow dung cakes, so they are dried, okay, and then it is used as fuel because livestock, they eat a lot of grass and their dung has a lot of organic matter which can burn and be used as fuel. So exactly the same way yak dung briquettes are made and they are used in the chula. Okay. Can we make a red panda our pet? No. We cannot make red panda our pet because a lot of animals. So you should actually go and find out a couple of laws that do not allow you to keep any of the endangered animals as pet. There are only very few animals which can be kept as pets. Full form of what do red pandas eat? Primarily bamboo. Apart from that, they eat eggs also. Okay, why are animals more aggressively active? I don't understand that question. Full form of WWF is Worldwide Fund for Nature. Red panda is not aggressive. It's a very lazy, sweet, lazy animal which likes to rest on the trees. Okay. Lifestyle I have already talked about in my session. They are solitary. They like to stay alone. They, in their entire lifetime, they have approximately 1 to 2 litters. Can red pandas be adopted? No. If it is,
I think we have crossed our time.
there are tons and tons of questions and I'm losing track of the questions which are being asked.
We've also crossed our timing actually.
Yes.
We have, so I know there's umpteen questions never ending because they found it so interesting. I think the film on Pokchi is something that they must have really found very, very interesting. So I'm sorry, like all good things, even this has to come to an end. So on behalf of the foundation, I would like to thank Ms. Raghav. Neha, thank you very much for this amazing, entertaining, insightful, and interactive session. I would also like to thank our presenter, Shree Cement Limited and Education for All Trust, and our associates, WWF. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank our young viewers and listeners. Without their enthusiasm, this session would not have been successful. So stay well, stay safe, everybody. Goodbye for now and have a great weekend. Thank you, Neha.